Hello everyone, we're the BRSN guys alongside Jordan. I'm Wesley. We're here to preview Lamar's home game against the University of Central Arkansas Bears. Now Jordan, Lamar's coming off a very disappointing loss against the Northwestern State Demons, and the answers need to be found soon if we're going to make a playoff run against a very tough UCA team. Tell us, what do we need to do to get this win this weekend?
We need to emphasize a balanced attack. Offensively, we've seen when we went to Northwestern State that Cade Harrington had a phenomenal game on the ground. 5 touchdowns, well over 260 yards. Rushing game there. The question is, in our passing attack, will we develop that balance? We were able to hit Devin Brown, down the field for some quick strikes, but then it went away over the course of the game and ultimately resulted in a loss. So coming back home to Provost Humphrey Stadium, we need to be focused and locked in on making sure we equal things out. We don't need to get extremely run heavy, despite Cade Harrington being the premier back in FCS play. We cannot leave out our receivers. We have a great receiving core. We have Reggie Beggleton, Devin Brown, Martell Hawthorne, Michael Handy's out there. You name it, we have a person that can fill that void. We need to go and execute it.
And what I'll be looking for in this game, to add to your facts, is can we get the ball to them? But not only that, it's primarily the defense. Northwestern State scored over 48 points on our defense, and a lot of that came through the air and penalties. We have to be disciplined. We cannot get beat deep and get pass interference calls. We have to tackle up front. We have to not give up big holes. That defense has to come to play, because Central Arkansas, they've probably seen this tape, and they're looking at it, probably rubbing their hands together saying, Lamar is vulnerable. We can expose him on certain things, and we do not need that in this game, especially if we want to make the playoffs.
Exactly, Wes. And at this point in the season, you have a well-rounded amount of film on someone. You know what we're going to do. If anybody who looks at Lamar for at least one game, they understand that we're going to try to establish the ground game early and then use that to fuel our passing attack with play-action plays, swing passes, and little short nickel and dime things until something deeper down the field opens up. So UCA knows that, and they know our attack. What I'm concerned about is on the defensive end, as you mentioned, stopping the attack of a team like UCA, because they're a very game-time oriented play calling team. Depending on how you come out is depending on what they will call. What they will call predicated on, what you show. If you stack the box up, they'll throw it. Well, we've seen this season for a team like UCA, if you space things out, they'll run the ball countless times. So for us, it's making sure that we get the right call. We spend a lot of time in film study, understanding and recognizing what their calls are, what are their formations, and how to stop them.
UCA really wants to wear Lamar down. They've done that to a lot of teams this year, even like the bigger schools. They wear you down with their physicality and their strength. And Lamar cannot allow this to happen, because if you want to win this game, you have to exercise balance on offense, and you have to make key stops in pivotal moments. You can't stop what UCA is going to do to you. You can only hope to contain it. But another key thing I'm going to be looking for is how many times you're going to run Cade at this #1 ranked rush defense. UCA is highly ranked in the FCS and in the nation among FBS schools. So they know Cade is the best running back in this conference, let alone one of the top 5 backs in the country. And they can stop, and they have not allowed anyone over 40 yards, and Cade's been averaging over 180 in this entire season.
True, but I think that's where great players make big-time plays.
They do.
When you're playing a team like UCA, this is when you need your superstar like Cade Harrington to show up and have a premier game. You can't have a dismal performance. You can't have a 40-yard showing. This has to be Cade's best game. And if he can come out with his best game, establish the ground early, as you mentioned, he's averaging well over 160, 70, as you mentioned, 80 yards a game. That's flat out impressive. He has double-digit touchdowns on the season. He needs to come out and make his statement in the way that he plays.
Yep.
Where I'm concerned at is in the passing game.
I know.
Making sure the timing is down with receivers, making sure our routes are crisp, making sure that Job is back there. He's comfortable. He knows what he's doing. He's been a couple games starting back there, played out the extent of the game. So he knows what he's doing. And the squad is confident in his ability under center. So if he can go out there and play to his best ability, I feel like we have a good shot at winning the game.
Yes, and we do. We hope all the fans come out this weekend. It will be rainy this weekend, so bring out your rain ponchos, bring out any kind of thing to stay dry, because Lamar will need your support if they want to get this win against the Central Arkansas Bears. Jordan and I will be there, and we'll post-game for you after the game. We'll see you there.